Greetings. This is Andre Barnes, creator and founder of Finding Superdad Incorporated. Today, I wanted to discuss a um, a new topic. Okay, how do you avoid homeschool hell? Well, I have 5 tips, and I'm going to kind of do some strokes over them because I want you to kind of look at the full blog at findingsuperdad.com. There, I have some funny memes and some elaborated points. But I'm going to give you some of the points right now and elaborate on some of them. Point number one, don't panic. I remember when we were all on quarantine, and it's my wife and my 2 kids. My daughter is 4, my son is 6. I was just like, I have to work remotely. She had to work remotely. And I was just like, how is this all going to work? First thing we did was not panic. We reviewed the information the teacher gave us. We figured out how to make that schedule work within our schedule. We worked as a team and we got the job done. All right. So, if you're a single parent, it's not impossible. There are just some extra steps that you have to take. There's some sacrifices that you have to make. But just don't panic. Don't panic. You're not alone at this. There are courses out there that you can take that will help you. Some of them free, some that you'll have to pay a little bit for. There are a lot of resources for parents, and then at the end of the day, the school's accountable. So if you're having a tough time, reach out to your school, reach out to your principal. My second tip is to set a schedule. Set a schedule. Do not deviate from it because if you deviate from the schedule, then your kids are going to run all over you because they think that they'll be able to read at any time. They'll be able to write at any time. They'll be able to do their math at any time. And it will just be a free for all. You have to have structure for yourself as well because a lot of you are still going to have to work. A lot of you are going to need a break from your kids. So if you set a schedule, then there will be a schedule for time for your kid to play, time for you to be able to catch up on work, and time for you to get some you time. I know in the quarantine it's hard to get away from people, but you do need that time for your personal space just for your sanity. Number three, and I'm going to go over this as being one of the most important points for you and your children is to take breaks. Take as many breaks as needed. If you see that um, your child is starting to get a little restless, have them get up and shake the sillies out. Shake, shake, shake the sillies out. It works. It works. And it will work for you too, because sometimes you'll have to shake the cranky out because, kids are kids and they're learning to be citizens. They're learning to be more mature, but it takes time. And you haven't had to be around them day after day as they're learning this in a controlled, positive learning environment. So having to deal with their antics, having to make them sit down long enough to be able to receive what the teacher is giving them might be bothersome, and it might stress you out a bit, but it's not the end of the world. Set your schedule and make sure that you take your breaks. Okay. So my fourth, and I would say that this is the most important one, is to set expectations. You have to set expectations for this homeschool classroom that you'll be establishing. You are basically a teaching assistant to a real teacher in an online environment. And your role is to really just make sure that your child is doing the work, that they're sitting down, receiving what the teacher is saying. You follow up, make sure that they're doing their work so that when your teacher reviews it, they have something to show the teacher and she can review their progress and see if they need additional help. So, If you don't set the expectations from day one with with your children, and you think that they're just going to get it because you just tell them to sit down, it's not going to work. They're in their natural environment, and they know that this environment is different than a school environment. So you have to start from scratch. You need to post, walking feet on the wall. You need to post, raise your hand when you speak. You need to talk about the rules, at least 2 or 3 times a week until they start to get it, until it becomes part of their routine and it becomes what's called in the education world a norm. So, yeah, set your expectations from day one. A lot of you kind of just got thrown into this quarantine homeschooling, but now that you've had a chance to kind of review what really was going on, now it's time to set expectations. Now it's time to set the rules. Now it's time to make this work for you. And then finally, number five, keep the school year in perspective. No one's expecting you to be a professional teacher. You didn't go through a school of education. You don't have a teaching certificate. What they expect is for you to help with the classroom management. And knowing how to do that and having that perspective of how to work with the teacher that's actually teaching them is going to make things a lot easier for you. Because if you're thinking that you have to teach the student, then you're going to get stressed. You need to help the teacher help you and your child, and keep open lines of communication if the situation of being in this homeschool environment is not working for you. The school will find something that will work, or they'll be able to give you resources that you can use to make it more effective for you. But don't panic, set a schedule, take breaks, set expectations, and keep the school year in perspective. It's not the end of the world. This school year and this and the half a school year before that we had to deal with this pandemic is not going to make or break your child. But if you get through this, your child is going to be so much stronger, and you'll have this one short period of time in their 17 years that they'll be going to school. Had the opportunity to work closely with them, to understand, to kind of watch their growth academically, and to spend more time with your child in an academic environment than you would have at any other time. You're at work 8 hours a day. Your child's at school for most of the day. So there's not a lot of time for you to interact with them. So enjoy this time. Things will go back to normal eventually. But at this time, just don't panic. There's help, there's resources. And if you guys have questions, please email me at findingsuperdad.com. I am connected with a school of education. I have a master's in education with focus on concentration on early childhood education. And I know a lot of teachers with information if there's a question that I can't answer. So let me help you, and don't feel like you have to go it alone. I'm Andre Barnes, founder and creator of Finding Superdad Incorporated. Thank you and have a wonderful day.